everyone, welcome in the civics class. Today we will start our third chapter, that is how the state government works. So under this chapter we will see what are the roles, duties and responsibilities of the state government and how it forms. So in today's class we will start with our first subtopic, that is who is an MLA. So here we will discuss who is an MLA, what are the procedure of electing an MLA, and what are the responsibilities of the MLA for the people of his or her constituency, and many other important terms related to the political science. So let's start our class. When we talk generally about the government, we think of the terms like ministers, collectors, MLAs, but in this lesson we will discuss in detail how an MLA is elected, how the government is formed, what is the basic requirements to form a government, and who forms the government. All these aspects will be covered in this lesson. Now, before going into the details of the lesson, let us look at the storyboard of your chapter. It is about a place, Patalpuram, which is a district headquarter. Patalpuram is a place where people receive water once in 3 days. So, for 3 days, one day they get water. And the water what they are getting is not at all pure and clean. And because of this, many people in the Patalpuram region or the Patalpuram village are suffering with the diseases, with the communicable diseases, which are infected with the unclear water. So, nearly 10 people died due to diarrhea. And the hospital is being crowded with many others who are suffering with diarrhea. The angry people who lost their relatives, who lost their friends, who lost their family members went with an angry mood to an MLA house. After going to MLA's house, they started shouting outside his house against him. So, now, who should take the responsibility of the case which caused due to the unclear water supplied by the water department? So, the person came outside, means the MLA came outside and he spoke to the people that he will take this issue to the notice of the government and take necessary actions, and also ensures that justice will be done to the people. So that is the justice that is going to the people when we lost the life of 10 people in our region. So now, who is an MLA? How can he ensure that he can make the government to look at the issue and make appropriate justice or justification or some sorts of help to the people? How is it possible? Let us now find out who is an MLA. Who is an MLA? MLA stands for the Member of Legislative Assembly. So in short, we write as MLA. So every state has a legislative assembly. So in our country, we have 28 states and 8 union territories. The union territories are taken care by the union government. The 28 states are having the legislative assembly. Obviously, every state have its own MLAs. So, who are these MLAs? These MLAs are none other than the people's representatives. So, people's representatives of every constituencies will become an MLA. How people will choose an MLA? An MLA is elected by people through general election. So, Through general election, people choose their representatives in our election process. So, let us now look at the election process. From 1952 till now, India has successfully conducted 17 general elections, 17 Lok Sabha elections and state legislative elections for various states. Now, first of all, Election Commission is an independent body which conducts the election in our country. The Election Commissioner is appointed by the President with the advice of the Prime Minister. Once the Election Commissioner is appointed, it is very difficult to remove the Election Commissioner from his post. The framers of the Indian Constitution kept in mind and view that the post which holds or conducts the election for the entire country is going to be tougher and tougher task as the day are coming. So they have upholded the post at a very high prestigious position and also has given enormous powers to that post. Once the election commissioner decide and declare the schedule of the election, the state government missionaries works under the advice of the election commissioner. Once the chief election commissioner is there in the center, he appoints for every state an election commissioner. The state election commissioner will be there in a state. So, like this, for 20 states, 28 election commissioners will be there. What are the major duties of the election commission? The election commission does the duties like enrolling the people's name, whoever is age above 18 years, irrespective of their caste, color, creed, religion or age. Above 18 is the only criteria which is taken into consideration, and they prepare a list of eligible voters or eligible people who can cast their vote. Once they make the voters list, publish it to the public, and they also give chance for the people to rectify if any mistakes are there, either the spellings of the names or the changes of their address. And once it is finalized, then the election schedule is fixed and the election schedule are announced. So, there will be a time when the party candidates have to nominate. So, what is party? So, now we'll discuss what is party. A party is a group of people coming together with a common ideology within the constitutional limit to form a government. Once the party's candidates will win the seats in the election, they can form the government. There are various national as well as regional or state parties in our country. In India, we have 6 national parties like Congress, BJP, NCP, BSP, etc. While coming to the state parties or regional parties, there are more than 650 state parties. In every state, we have various parties. Now, how do we differentiate between a national party and a state party? A party will be recognized as a state party only if it gets 4% of votes in the state, then it can be recognized as a state party, or at least 4 MLA seats in the general election, then it can be considered as a state party. So, the same state party, if it gets more than 4 seats in 4 states, 4 different states, then that party will be considered as a national party. A party which is having 4 seats in 4 different states in the general election, then the party gets the status of a national party. So, like this, we have more than 700 political parties in our country. Now, moving into understand how an MLA is elected. These parties will file their candidate for the nomination once the election commission declares the date. So, they go to the respective district collector's office, where at that point, once the election commission takes the charge and declare the dates of election, the state missionaries, means all the IAS, IPS officers, come under the preview of election commissioner. So, the state election commissioner will assist with all the district collectors who will be acting as election presiding officers. So now the party who wants to file its candidate for the election will march to the district collector office and file their party candidate's nomination papers. The in-charge officer will check that one and gives an approval for the eligibility of the candidate to contest in the election. Recently, in 2005, the Supreme Court of India gave a judgment. According to that judgment, every candidate whoever is contesting in the election has to declare all his assets, all his properties, his educational qualifications, and also if any allegation or any cases which are in pending against him at various levels of court shall be declared, and once if it is declared, that has to be submitted as an affidavit or self-declaration affidavit to the district collector or the in-charge presiding officer, and that all will be checked. So, this information will help the people to understand what is the character of the person who is standing for the election, and it gives a clear picture of what is the ideology of this person, what is the character of this person, will he be able to lead the people in future in taking good decision in favor of them or not. So, like this, after the scrutiny is done, there will be a time of 15 days to do the campaign, and campaigning will be stopped 48 hours before the elections take place. So once the election campaigning has been done, so 48 hours before the election commences, they stop the campaigning and nobody is allowed to do any campaigning. Even the political party running the government at that point of time will also not to broadcast an advertisement or anything which are forcing the people to think in favor of that particular political party. So, like this, 48 hours before, complete silence. Then the election takes place. A week later, once all elections, all polling booth done, then a particular day is fixed for counting, and it is counted. Counting of the ballots takes place, and that day evening you get the results. So, the persons who get the maximum numbers of votes from the people of his constituency is elected as an MLA. And if the same party candidates win majority of seats, then particular party can form the government in that particular state. So, like this, the MLAs are elected. Now, let us look how the MLAs are elected. In a flowchart, we will see so that you can understand it much better. First, MLA starts with election commissioner. Okay, MLA starts with election commissioner. Then, election commissioner will declare the election schedules. Okay. Once the election commission declare the election schedule, you get the nomination. Okay. Now, who will do this nomination? Nomination are filed by party candidates, means parties. So now, what is party? Political parties, a group of people coming together with a common ideology within the constitutional limit. You may get a doubt. The party like ISIS also can be a party. There also a group of people are there with a common ideology, but they have violence as their weapon. Violence as a method to tackle the issues. So, here it has to be very clear that they have to be within the constitutional limits. So, a party or political party is nothing but which is following the constitution clearly, which does not violate the constitutional rules or regulation. So, then the parties fill up the candidates for the nomination and they go for campaigning. Okay. Then once the campaigning is done, they go for voting. Okay. So, who will do the voting? As I mentioned earlier, the election commission make a list of eligible people, public, whoever is 18 or above 18 years, irrespective of their caste, color, religion, region, sex, etc., will get the right to vote according to Article 326. So, that list is called voters lists. So, the people of that region will be electing the people. So, every state will be divided into different constituencies. Like, for example, Arunachal Pradesh state is divided into 60 constituencies. So, the entire Arunachal Pradesh state for the political purpose, it is divided into 60 small parts. These small parts are the region which is used for the conducting elections. So, this place which division are done for political purpose to conduct the elections are known as constituencies. So, the party candidates file the nomination of campaign and everything process happens for constituencies, and which member will get more number of votes in that region from the people who has eligibility to right to vote in that region will be winning the election of the particular constituency. So, with the voting, you get the results. Okay. You know, once the results come, he will be getting majority. Whoever wins the election will be declared as MLA. Okay. Who is an MLA? The member of the Legislative Assembly from that particular constituency who got the majority numbers of votes, and if he or she belongs to the majority political party, then obviously they can form the government. As I mentioned, for an example, state of Arunachal Pradesh is having 60 constituencies. So in these 60 constituencies, in the previous election which have taken place in 2019, the majority seats are owned by the BJP. Actually, in order to form the government, it is required to have more than half of the MLAs of the same party. For example, in our Arunachal Pradesh, there are 60 constituencies. So, how much seat a political party requires to prove majority in the state? Let us see one example. Majority is equal to total number of seats divided by 2 plus 1. So here, as we know that in Arunachal Pradesh, there are 60 constituencies. So here it will be 60 divided by 2 plus 1, that is 31 seats. So 31 seats are must to prove the majority in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. So BJP party has got 41 seats, so it gave a clear mandate for that political party to form the government in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. How are we declaring that BJP party will eligible to form the government here? Because all the MLAs, election commission has given the election schedule. Nomination has been filed by the parties. Which parties? There were BJP party, Congress party, Janata Dal, National People's Party. Like this, various political parties filled their nomination, and all political parties did the campaign, and voting has taken place, and in this voting the people have given a clear support to the BJP, which we came to know when the results are declared. So out of 60, more than 40 seat BJP has got, that is 41 seat. I am giving an example for you so that you can understand it properly. And now, as they got more numbers of seats from the BJP party, the leader of the BJP party, that is Mr. Pema Khandu, was been elected by all the MLAs to be the party leader or the party chief. So the governor invited the BJP party chief to form the government. So like that, Pema Khandu became the CM of Arunachal Pradesh state. CM stands for Chief Minister. So now the MLAs has two responsibilities. One, to make laws for the people who has chosen him, and the second one, to ensure that the works are done properly as a minister. How can an MLA become a minister? This we will discuss in our next class.